Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Big Talk Pigskin. I am your host, Bowden, and I'm joined by my other host, Andre. Andre, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm ready to talk about some football and can't wait to get in the weekend to watch a lot of this football.
Sure.
All right. First off on our agenda today, we're going to be talking about Michigan at USC.
Mm-hmm.
What do you what do you like in this game? Who do you see coming out on top? What are your kind of like key takeaways of this matchup
Um,
up here?
my biggest thing, I think Michigan's strong point has been their defense so far this year, and for USC, I think their offense has been one of their strongest points. So I think this is one of the biggest offensive versus defensive matchups we've seen all year. So I think it comes out to either how strong or electric USC's offense can come out, or how like dominant Michigan's defense can play. Because you got to be able to slow USC down. Because Michigan, like you're still trying to get your offense going, trying to find out, trying to get your passing game really clicking, like to help that running game. So you need your defense to be able to stop them from scoring points, so you can figure out what you're going to do to score your points.
Yeah, definitely. That USC offense, like you said, has been absolutely electric this year. So how do they come out in this game? They're playing a strong defense, like you said, in Michigan, who is always solid on that end, always. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how that all plays out, like you mentioned. And I think that obviously we've talked about it before, the time change kind of messing with things,
Mm-hmm.
for some of our players or some of the players in these games, but I don't think it'll be a big deal for Michigan in this one. They're playing at 7:30 p.m. on Eastern time zone, so it's only gonna be 4:30 in the afternoon there. They're used to playing night games. They're used to playing this late, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's going to really affect them or stop them at all. So I'm very, very excited to watch this game. This is going to be a huge game for implications in the Big Ten, and I think we need to see a lot out of Bryce Underwood. We need a
Mm-hmm.
lot from him because USC has a strong defense as well. While that's normally not their strong suit and they're more of an offensive minded team year in and year out, we got to see Bryce Underwood be able to take on this defense.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. USC, like I wouldn't say they're like the most overwhelming team, but like when if you're a quarterback and you look across the field, like when your defense is out there and you're watching other teams' quarterback go for 500, 600, like lead in the 600 yards a game, like it could be a little mentally draining. So I think like that's another big focus. You got to stay mentally locked in. Like you can't let their big plays like scare you off and stop you from scoring your big plays or make you feel like you have to respond right away with a big play. Because if you end up down, like you can't score more than 8 points in one play. So like you have to just take your time and kind of let the game come to you.
Definitely, definitely, and I think that will be a big mental factor in this game with Bryce Underwood. Young guy playing on the road, a long way from home. He was playing in the Coliseum, one of the most historic stadiums in the whole nation, and against a USC team who's always strong, even on their bad years. That's a strong team. It's a hard place to play at just because of just the environment of like the history there, not necessarily the fans. Like we said, I think we were saying this the other day. They just don't fill that stadium very well over at USC. Same with
Yeah,
UCLA, but they just don't fill it. So we'll see. I don't think the crowd takes into account here really a whole lot, honestly, and that sucks. I wish it did. But who's going to dominate the trenches in this game is really going to determine who wins. And Michigan, they're always dominating, especially on the offensive end. That offensive line is great. They always have a great O line, always have a great D line. I think that Michigan just has what it takes. They have the edge here, and they need to win this game if they want to make the playoffs this year. So I think Michigan will come out on top ultimately, but I do not see this being a runaway game for them. This shows a lot about them and their team, and I think they'll keep it close, but I think they'll have that driving factor to pull out on top.
mhm. Yeah. I feel like Michigan kind of has to play with a little chip on their shoulder because USC, even though they're not ranked, like they're still what are they 4-1 or something like that? Like they're still a really good team, and I think they're better than some of the maybe even more than some of their ranked teams. So feel like this is huge. And then Michigan being at 15, like they kind of are sitting at that little edge. And we're getting to the point of the season where you don't want to be like hovering around waiting like on the last game or two. Like you're trying to solidify your spot now. So you got to come out and just dominate. If I'm Michigan, I'm leaning more on our run game. I'm letting our big bodies up front kind of wear them down because, like, I just feel like when you play Michigan, it's just a long, physical, and draining game, and I feel like that's a big advantage for them. So, like, just go at their defense, like ground and pound, smash it, and then that's when you take your chances, play action over top, stuff like that. Let Bryce get out of the pocket, roll out a little bit like a boot or something. But I think the run game is going to be big for them today.
Definitely. Definitely got to lean on that run game. Justice Haynes, man, he's been so good this year. He's been great, absolutely electrifying. I mean, that's what we expected out of Donovan Edwards last year, who just came out and did really nothing all year. This guy's great. I love watching him play. One of my favorite running backs to watch in the Big Ten right now. Honestly, probably my favorite. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Iowa fan. We have 4 running backs that work in the rotation that are great as well. But Haynes, man, he's just one of those guys.
I would
And
say
yes, oh,
he's a Sunday
go.
night right now. He's ready for Sundays.
Oh, 100%. He looks Sunday ready. And to touch on that USC, yes, they are 4-1, and I don't know why they're not ranked. The only game they lost was to Illinois at Illinois by 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in the rankings. We dropped them out after they lost that game. What was going on with that decision there? I don't think they should have dropped out, but I don't know. I just
Illinois,
think they should be there.
like Illinois is a good team. Like if you lose to them, that
Exactly.
not give you the boot.
That's what I'm saying, especially when it's a close game like that. That's one score. It's one
Mm-hmm.
score. They came back, if I believe. Let me pull up that box score real quick. That game. I mean, there was 14-10 at the end of the first half. Illinois kind of started to run away with it, and then USC picked it up and came back. But Illinois ultimately took it away at the end.
Yeah,
Like this is a good team. This is a good USC team. Them not being ranked is a disservice. And if they pull out this game, they'll be right back in the rankings and they'll be right back in the playoff conversation.
I was gonna say yeah. This is USC's chance to show like they need to be ranked and work towards that playoff. And it's kind of I don't want to say make or break just yet for anybody, but it's like kind of on the verge of being make or break. Like how your postseason is going to go and how you decide to finish out the rest of the season.
Definitely. I mean, we know you can make the playoffs with 2 losses in this system. It's going to
Yeah.
happen. We're going to see it. There's probably going to be a 2-loss Big Ten team or SEC or both
Mm-hmm.
into the playoffs this year. Now, I think if USC loses this game, I think they probably drop another one later on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I definitely just think this is must win for them because I see them getting 3 losses this year, maybe 4,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of a stretch even saying 4, but I can see
Mm-hmm.
them losing more games than just this one. So for them, in my opinion, this is a must win that I don't think they're going to come away with, but. I mean, I've been wrong in the past. I mean, look, we didn't even talk about Penn State UCLA last week, and look at what happened there.
True. I
It's
feel like
insane.
I was gonna say USC definitely. I feel like almost the rest of their games are pretty much like must win because it shows like they don't have like the favor of the voters, I guess. So like if you come down to a loss, like you're not Alabama, so they're not going to just like vote in your favor or give it to you. So I feel like you kind of have to win every game because like if you lose to a ranked team and then you lose all of your ranking, like and imagine if you lose to anybody else, like because if that happens to Illinois, then, like you cannot lose. You cannot afford to give up a game at this point, or you might as well start letting your young guys get reps now for next season.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And to go back on what you were saying about the rushing game, that's going to be obviously Michigan's key to winning this game. They got to slow down the game, slow down the tempo, control the pace, control the game as much as they can. And they know how to do that when they're running on the ground. They
Yeah.
know exactly what they're doing. And we're going to see Bryce take the ball on his legs as well. We see it every week. He'll do it again. He's great running the ball. He's a fun guy to watch. He's going to be fantastic next year.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if they can get him comfortable and going, like I feel like that's when Michigan kind of gets a little bit electric. Like I just come out, try and find a run game, maybe a little quick game or something like that. throwing some play actions just to keep him honest. And then once he gets his confidence going, like that's when I start taking my shots, sneaking stuff in there. But I'll just come out RPOs just to fill out the offense, see like if they're blitzing, how much pressure they're putting. Because if I'm USC, like I'm getting as many people in the box as I can. I'm sending pressure. Like I want to make them throw the ball and stop that run game. So
Yeah,
it'll
definitely.
be
You have to
interesting.
force them to pass. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to stop Michigan. And this passing game for Michigan this year is better than it's been in recent memory. So even that can be kind of scary.
Yeah, and
So
you
who
have
do
to
you
force
think?
the defense.
I was going to say who do you think pulls away with this one today or this weekend?
Good offense or good defense. I might have to go with this Michigan. I don't like saying those words, but I think I got them this week. I don't think I can bet them.
Well, as a guy who watches a lot of high-powered defense, I gotta go for the high-powered defense here, and I'm gonna take Michigan to get this win on the road at USC. All
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
and that brings us to our next game: Indiana at Oregon, the number 7 team in the country at the number 3 team in the country. What a matchup this week! What a
Man,
huge matchup for the Big Ten.
yeah, I'm definitely excited. Indiana has surprised me. They're kind of like, I don't want to say the underdogs of like all the ranked teams, but like I coming into the season, I would have never been like Indiana's going to be top 10 and maybe like even in top 5 at some point. Because you beat the number 3 team, like I feel like you should at least bump down to 4 or 5 from 7. So this is like Indiana's chance to prove and see what they can do in the not even just the Big Ten, but in all of college football. So I'm excited for them.
Definitely. And they rolled over Illinois, absolutely destroyed them, took complete control of that game and did not let their foot off the gas pedal once. Never sniffed the brakes. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, huge game. I'm so excited for it too. And I agree with you. Beginning of this season, I did not think Indiana was going to be as good as they were last year. And I thought they were a little fraudulent last year, just had a really easy schedule to get there. But this season, man, they are great. They are way better than last year. Fernando Mendoza, man, he is electrifying. He is so much fun to watch. He's thrown one interception all year to my guys up here, to the Hawks. One interception all season. That's great. That's fantastic. Great numbers. Dante Moore's in the same boat. He's only thrown one interception this year as well. Their numbers look pretty close to the same when it comes to yards wise. They're only 2 yards off passing yards wise. And Mendoza has 2 more touchdowns. They have the same amount of interceptions. So on the QB side, this game seems pretty even. It looks like it from the numbers at least. But I
Hmm.
like Mendoza more. I
Yeah.
think this guy's one of the front runners for the Heisman for a reason.
Hmm. I would say having that Oregon offense, like, or not, I'm sorry, not Oregon, Indiana offense, like they're just. I think the biggest thing, like, I can just think of them is like they're kind of consistent. Like I think they're so solid, they're so like well rounded, and I feel like when you have just that nice balance all around you, when it's not like there's a star player here and a star player here, but a gap here, a gap there. Like everyone's kind of well rounded on that team. So I feel like that just makes it so much easier for a quarterback when like if I go to receiver one and then I go to my next receiver two, then receiver three, and then I can check down to my running back and they're all dudes. It just brings you so much more confidence to play. And like that shows with like the interceptions. There are dudes who can make plays, create space, get open. It just makes it so much easier for a quarterback.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, if you're not throwing interceptions, you're not the only one who's doing something right.
Yeah.
Your receivers are catching the ball. They're not missing balls that they should catch. They're not letting them bounce off their hands, tip up into the air for anybody in the area to catch. Like, the whole team is doing something right if you're not throwing that many interceptions. Your O line's protecting you, so you're not getting hit as you're throwing the ball. These 2 teams are great. They're a lot of fun. Whoever wins this game is probably who's playing Ohio State in the conference championship game, I would have to guess. That's the way I see it. I don't see really any other teams besides those 3 probably making it to the conference championship unless something absolutely crazy happens. But we have major playoff implication like on the lines here. I mean, both these teams are undefeated. They're probably both going to make the playoffs, but one of these teams is going to have a chance to get a bye. The other one's not. The winner could get a bye this year. The loser will not.
I'll say, yeah, I'm definitely excited because this is, I would say this is Indiana's chance to prove, like, if they really deserve to be in the playoffs. It's like, if you beat Oregon, you show, like, you're supposed to be in the playoffs because you got a chance to compete for, like, the national championship. If you come out here and lose to Oregon, it's like maybe you win, like, the first round, but, like, what are you in the playoffs for? Because you can't compete with, like, the top-tier teams. So this is kind of, like, their chance to see, like, where they're at and if they really are, like, one of the top schools in college football. So I'm definitely excited for that. And Indiana just got their cornerback. I can't remember his name. He was out with like a back injury or something like that. But their corner's back in. He's got 11 tackles, and 10 of those are solo tackles. And then he's got a pick too. So he might be the one to give more his second interception coming back in. But I think that's definitely big for defense.
Definitely big for their defense. And, you know, they have a pretty favorable schedule coming up the rest of this year. So, you know, not huge teams they're playing the rest of the season. This is more than likely their last ranked matchup of the year until the possible Big Ten championship game or playoffs. You know, they got Iowa. They already played Iowa. Excuse me. They have Michigan State after this, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State. Who are they? I don't even know anymore. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're still good and they just were awful last week. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. You know, Wisconsin and then Purdue. So this is a very favorable schedule for Indiana. So you're definitely right. If they're going to get tested any week, you know, we said it about Illinois, but if they're going to get tested against a legit contender year in and year out, it's right here, right now, this week versus Oregon.
I was gonna say, yeah, it does not get any bigger for your team right here. You're on the road. You have to go out to Oregon, out to Eugene, Oregon. Oh man, yeah, I definitely think it'll be one to test the nerves and see what they really got. But like I'm saying though, Indiana, like they're that surprise team, and like you might call them the underdogs, but they're not really underdogs to anybody. I feel like in any game they kind of have a chance. ESPN's got them at 30%. I like them more than 30%. I'd say it's more like maybe at least like 40%, somewhere around there.
I was gonna say like 45, and I would put it 50-50 if this was neutral.
Yeah.
But just the fact they have to go to Oregon, I'd put it at 45%, but I can see them winning this game. I don't think they will, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, I think Oregon walks away with it. Yeah, if it was in Indiana, I'd be saying Indiana as well. But with it being out in Oregon, I don't think they get done Autzen Stadium. I think the Ducks walk away at home with a W and continue on their undefeated streak. Have couple of big wins against some ranked opponents. I mean, Penn State obviously doesn't really look like a big win anymore, but you played at Penn State in a whiteout and won in overtime.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
That still counts, and it was an OT game. So, like, Penn State's offense may not have been as, like, what we thought, but their defense was definitely on point, and they still, like, at the time were a top team. I still think they're a top 10-ish team in the country, so I feel like that's still a legit win for Oregon.
Yeah, I think it's still a legit win. It just doesn't look as good as it did now, but it's college football. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So yeah, I think I'm definitely taking the Ducks on this one. Dre, is that what you're in?
Yeah, I'm with the Ducks. I don't really see them losing.
I don't either. And with that, let's talk about your Buckeyes, man. Playing Illinois for the Illabuck Trophy. Illinois hasn't had that thing in years. I want to say it's like 2013 or something like that. I don't remember the exact year that the last time they had the trophy was. Does Ohio State get it done, or does Illinois finally get that trophy back in their trophy room?
Illinois better not be expecting a trophy anytime soon. It is going to be I don't want to say it. All right. Well, I think it'll be similar to that Indiana-Illinois game. I feel like Ohio State, like, once they find that rhythm, I think they're going to find that rhythm around, like, just wrapping up the end of that first quarter, and after that, they're about to click and take off. You're gonna watch the game, and then some people are gonna be like, "Oh man, Illinois is hanging in there with Ohio State." Well, it's only been 5 minutes in the game. Like we've had one drive. So then after that, they get that second drive in. Offense comes back out. Defense has been out. Our team has had the ball. Is I think we're gonna take off on them. It's gonna be a sad day at Illinois too.
See, and I agree. I agree. But the only way Illinois has a chance to win this football game is if they win the first quarter. And by win the first quarter, I mean win it like crazy. They need 3 touchdowns in the first quarter to be able to win this football game. That's where Ohio State lacks week in and week out is the first quarter. So only they start off slow every game. Don't know why. I mean, look at Minnesota last week. They picked up the second quarter came and the game was over. First quarter though, it was a good game. It was fun to watch. They were competing back and forth with Minnesota. But that's just Ohio State's one lacking quality is the first quarter. And that feels to be every year. That's not even a knock on them. It's just like it takes them a second to get going. Maybe they don't warm up hard enough, but it doesn't seem like they need to. They still win football games. They won a national championship last year. So the only Illinois have to come out very strong, very fast, very powerful. It's the only way they have a chance to win this football game. But like you said, I think Ohio State kind of just takes off in that second quarter and just coasts to victory.
Yeah. No, I definitely get what you're saying about them starting slow in the first quarter because it seems like Ohio State comes out and it's like they don't really have like their game plan set. It's like they come out and like, all right, in this first drive, let's see who our guy for today is going to be. So then it's like, well, we're going to try Jeremiah Smith, but then like he's double teamed and then you can't give him the ball. So then it's like, all right, well, next drive we're going to try the run game. And then if they like stack the box, now we're like, all right, now it's our third drive. Now let's go to the third person. And it's nice that we have like all these weapons, but it's like create your game plan. Like, all right, first play, maybe we play action, take a shot to Jeremiah. Then on like second down, if it's like second and 10, it will come like Carnell Tate. Then if it's third and short, we'll go to our running back. Like scheme people up instead of just, all right, let's just see what happens. Because it's like it seems like they just come out like you guys just decide what we're going to do on offense. I can't stand that.
Yeah, and I see exactly what you're saying. It feels like the first quarter, it's all about just finding what's going to work for that day. Instead of just cycling through in your drive and going, all right, yeah, like you said, first play, we're doing this. We're going to this guy. Next play, we're going to this guy. Third play, we go to this guy. And then after that, you kind of go, okay, we know what's working here. We're seeing what's going on. You make a game plan before the game.
Yeah.
That's just what you do. And it doesn't, you're right. It does not feel like they ever do that until the playoffs. And that's when they absolutely dominate and start off slow.
Yeah, it's like because when I watch them during the regular season, it's like the players and the coaching staff, like I know they're a number one team, but they never really come out and play like it. And it just like I wish they would just dominate teams. Like I wish they wouldn't play around. It's like they just play with their food. Just come out like just come out like the first drive. I don't see why we don't score against like five of the 5 games we played, majority of them we should have scored on the first drive. But it's just we come out with no plan and just throw something together last minute. Like, all right, like we'll let the GAs call the first drive or something.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. And if I was a fan, I would be frustrated with the first quarters, but I wouldn't even be overly upset. I wouldn't be pressed. Yeah. Not when I'm winning football games in that fashion every week. Mm-hmm. But, Julian Sand, been impressive this year. I think he's definitely a key factor in this game, obviously. Donaldson, Bo Jackson, those guys are also huge factors. And then obviously on the receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. I mean, who else would you rather have in your receiving room than those guys?
Nobody. If I can't pick from the NFL, then there's no other receiver duo.
Exactly.
And I'm over some NFL receiver duos.
All
right, maybe not
a
yet.
Couple. Maybe, yeah, they're a little young.
Yeah, but no, I'm just so excited for him. I mean, I've really been a Carnell Tate fan this year. It's like every year, like we know what Jeremiah Smith is gonna do. Like he's got all that hype, but it's just like Carnell Tate. He just like I don't know. He's just like the ideal like receiver. Like, and he's not the big drama queen. He doesn't have all this like media hype and attention. He's not. You don't see him pouting on the sidelines crying. Because like for a lot of dudes, like to play next to Jeremiah Smith, like you, and then like to be at receiver, you know your touches are limited. So like to just the way he carries himself, I know that I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it definitely like translates to his game. Just the way he carries himself, like on the sidelines. So I don't know. I think that'll definitely be a big help. Like when you come out slow the first quarter, because if it was me, I'd definitely be upset. Like dude, like you're not throwing me the ball, you're not using me, and like it's Minnesota, and we can't put up any points to start out the first quarter, and the stuff like that would just get to me. But he really keeps his calm, and when he gets his moments, he doesn't waste it. Like if you come to him, I'm I'm saying it's 90% Carnell Tate's ball every time.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say there's nobody on Ohio State's team that I like more than Carnell Tate. I love
Mm-hmm.
the guy. He's great. I'd love that he's the second guy.
Yeah,
I love it because he's fantastic. He'd be receiver one anywhere else in the nation except for Alabama because of
yeah.
whatever his name is. I don't know yet. Williams,
Ryan Williams, yeah,
Ryan Williams, that's his name. But he's been kind of hurt and not overly impressive this year.
yeah.
But like Carnell Tate would be the number one anywhere, and he plays his role great, being a number two there, and he'll get drafted. That's probably a second round pick,
Yeah,
just because he's not the receiver one getting targets. But I'd take him first round. I definitely would.
yeah.
He's
I,
impressive.
I think it would be like a JXN, like a Emeka Ibuka type thing. Because like when you look at those dudes, like the game they just played, the Bucks and the Seahawks, like that game. Like I think when Colonel Tate gets to the league, that's when you'll see just how like dominant and like how good he really is. Because right now you can't show how good you are when you have to share every single thing you do. So now that he has it to himself and he can do what he wants to do, I think it will be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. He's a great football player. He's on a great team, and he's got a pretty good quarterback throwing to him. I'm not
Yeah,
giving him the great title yet. I think he can be there. I think he can. I like Julian Sand. He's looked really good this year. 3
yeah.
interceptions happens. You throw them sometimes. Just happens.
And I don't like 3 interceptions within 5 games, but like I'll wait to see how the season goes because he still is a young quarterback. So like I guess I could live with 3 because they're young dudes who would have done a lot worse. And
Yeah,
like for him to have this number one 5-0, 2-0 in the conference, like I'll take it. I can never complain about that.
yeah, and I mean, this is his first year starting,
Mhm.
so you can't really hold those against him. Plus, I don't know how all of them happen. Maybe a couple are receiver errors, or maybe he got smacked while he was throwing the ball a couple of times. Not 100% sure, but he's got a good ratio. 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. I'll take that any day of the week.
Definitely, yeah.
Any day.
Can't be mad about
Say
that.
say he even goes 2-1 this week, which I
Mhm.
don't think will happen. But if he goes 2-1, he'd be at 15-4 through half the season. Double that. I mean, that's 30-8. That's still really good.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for this weekend. I'm more. I mean, it'll be a good game for Ohio State. I'm glad they're playing another ranked team because, like, I don't know, it can get boring watching Ohio State sometimes. So I definitely will be excited to see what they can do. It'll at least be like more competitive than what I've seen in previous weeks. But I'm taking my Buckeyes big this week.
Yeah, and I hope this game is a lot more competitive than most Ohio State games because I agree with you. I think they get boring a lot of the time. I don't like watching them play, really, just because they dominate so much. It's not
Yeah,
fun for me to watch. But I'd rather watch a game where it's close and competitive. And I think this one will be that way. I'm excited to watch it. We'll definitely be tuning in. I got Ohio State taking this game. Would love to see Illinois do it, except I don't really like Brett Bielema. But it would just be really cool to see Illinois win, get the
yeah.
Illabuck trophy back. But Ohio State, at the end of the day, I think they win this by probably 10 or more. And then let's just move on real quick. Just going to talk a little bit about this Iowa game. It's a big time rivalry.
Yes.
We got a trophy on the line. I won it. I want it to stay home. Love for it to stay home.
Yeah, I want that. I got Iowa winning this week.
I have us winning. Wisconsin hasn't looked great. This is make or break for Luke Fickell, though. This is definitely make or break. Losing a rivalry game is not good, and their schedule is not favorable. If they lose this game, I don't think they win a game the rest of the season. And the only reason I think they can win this game is because it's a rivalry and it's at home. You know, you got jump around coming at the fourth quarter. And I hope that it's the Iowa players and fans jumping around again like it was last year. Because last year we smoked them. I really hope we do it again. I think we can, but we might be missing our quarterback. We still haven't been told if he's going to be good yet. He's been listed day to day, Mark Gronowski. He's been listed day to day all week. He's on the depth chart. Don't know if that means he's going to play or not, though. So we might be resorting to Hank Brown, our backup, transferred in from Auburn. He didn't look very good at the end of the Indiana game. And that's honestly, I believe that's why we lost to Indiana, solely because our quarterback went out. So I'm a little scared. Wisconsin hasn't been consistent with a lot of things this year. So I think Iowa's defense, our defense, steps up, makes huge plays. I bet we get a defensive touchdown this week. Hasn't happened yet this year. I'm just saying. Either pick six, fumble six, possibly even a blocked blocked punt. I think we score in one of those ways.
If you do, you definitely win the game. That's proven fact. You do you get a defense or a special teams touchdown, or even just the takeaway. It gives you such a big boost to your win percent or chances of winning.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we can do it. I think we'll get one. This is the type of game where we get one, and usually at this point in the season, we have a defensive touchdown. We have a couple special teams ones, some returns, but I think it falls this week. I think we finally get that touchdown on defense.
Yeah, I can see it, definitely.
And then who? So I know you said you're taking Iowa. You got a score prediction. How close of a game do you think this is going to be?
I could see 28, something in the 20s. I could see a game in the 20s somewhere, but I see Iowa having around 28, somewhere around there, and then Wisconsin around 21, something like that, chasing them at the end of the game. Wisconsin chasing Iowa.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be around there. I think it might even be a little more lower scoring. I think this might be 24-10, similar to how the Michigan Wisconsin game went last week. I think this game looks very similar, very parallel to that game, as I compare Iowa and Michigan together all the time. They're very similar teams, except Michigan usually has a little bit better of QB play. So I think it'll look basically about the same. Maybe it's a field goal different, but I think it's going to be a strong game. I think it'll be fun to watch, at least for me personally, but I definitely think I'd rather, if I was not a fan of Iowa or Wisconsin, I would be watching Michigan USC instead, which starts 30 minutes later. So watch the Iowa game for the first 30 minutes, then tune over to the Michigan game. So that's the game to watch. But yeah, and I think that about wraps up our time for today. Thank you guys all for tuning in and enjoying the podcast. I hope everybody has safe travels and a great day.
All right. See you guys.